The void of space stretches endlessly, a silent witness to humanity's final struggle. The Perseverance drifts through the darkness, one of the last ships still operational after the Exodus. The stars do not care for the dying embers of a once great species. They never have. We were never meant to die on Earth. But fate had other plans. Earth was our cradle, our home, but we bled it dry. Wars burned across continents. The sky choked on smoke. The oceans turned black, and the land could no longer sustain us. When the end came, it was not a bang, nor a whimper. It was a slow, suffocating gasp as the planet turned against us, and we, in turn, turned against each other. The last remnants of civilization funneled everything into one desperate gamble, Project Exodus. Thousands of colony ships launched into the unknown, each carrying the fragile hope of survival. But space is not kind. Not all ships made it. Some vanished into the abyss, never to be heard from again. Some were lost to mechanical failures, radiation bursts, or the simple, cruel indifference of entropy. The Perseverance survived. Barely. The ship groans under the weight of time and scarcity. Power flickers. Oxygen is rationed down to the molecule. Food is synthetic, recycled, stretched thin. The crew moves like ghosts, hollowed by hunger, exhaustion, and something far worse, hopelessness. They have seen too much, lost too much. Captain Elias Cade sits in silence, staring at the holographic display of a star system ahead. It is their last, best chance. Their last supply run before the reserves run dry. A single planet orbits the edge of a dying sun. Long-range scans show remnants of a long-dead civilization. A station still powered. Could hold food, air, fuel, anything to extend their journey. Or it could be a graveyard. They have no choice. The Perseverance burns towards the station, its engines sputtering like the last heartbeat of a dying man. The crew gathers in the war room, a mix of engineers, scientists, and what remains of security personnel. No one speaks at first. They don't need to. They have buried too many already. Lieutenant Vega breaks the silence. Her voice is sharp, practical. Scan shows breathable air inside. Gravity stabilization is online. But power is flickering. Something's still running in there. Cade nods. If there's power, there's a chance for supplies. The ship's AI, a cold but reliable entity named Helix, projects a schematic. The station's structure remains intact. Life support is stable. No organic life detected. Pause. However, there is an anomaly. A faint energy signature in the lower levels. Unidentified. The word unidentified carries weight. It means risk. It means unknown. No one likes unknowns. But they have no options left. The docking sequence is rough. The ship shakes as it latches onto the derelict station. The airlock hisses open, revealing a long corridor swallowed in darkness. The team moves in, weapons drawn, flashlights cutting through the void. The walls are covered in something unnatural, a metallic growth twisting like veins, pulsing with faint bioluminescence. A warning, a tombstone written in a language they do not understand. Dr. Runn, the ship's lead scientist, runs a gloved hand over the surface. This isn't natural corrosion. It's something else. Something alive. The words settle in like lead. Further in, they find the first body. Not human. The skeletal remains of something alien, curled against the wall, long since turned to dust. Nearby, a shattered terminal flickers weakly. Cade gestures to Rin. Can you get it online? Rin works fast, bypassing ancient code, patching broken circuits. A garbled message plays in bursts of static. A voice, alien but desperate. To any who find this, run. We tried to stop it. We failed. The devourer leaves nothing but silence. Silence follows. No one speaks. Then a noise. Faint. Distant. Something shifts in the darkness. They are not alone. Cade's grip tightens on his weapon. We have what we need. We're leaving. Now. They move quickly, adrenaline burning away exhaustion. The corridor stretches endlessly. Shadows seem deeper. The metallic veins pulse faster, as if sensing them. Then the alarms blare. The station wakes. Automated defense systems activate, misidentifying them as threats. Gun turrets descend from the ceiling, ancient but still functional. The first shot barely misses Vega. The second rips through Ren's shoulder. Chaos erupts. They dive for cover, returning fire. Sparks rain down as bullets tear through rusted metal. Cade grabs Ren, hauling him to his feet. Move! The door to the airlock is just ahead. Halix's voice crackles through their earpieces. Warning. Unknown foreign entity detected on hull. Immediate departure required. Cade doesn't have time to process. They throw themselves through the airlock as it slams shut behind them. The ship detaches, engines roaring as it pulls away. Through the viewport, they watch as the station collapses inward, consumed by its own failing power core. The last remnants of a dead civilization disappear into the void. They made it, but something is wrong. Ren clutches his wound, breathing heavily. Vega works quickly to stop the bleeding, but her hands freeze mid-motion. Her eyes widen. Cade, his wound. It's moving. The wound shifts, twisting. Something writhes beneath his skin. The last thing they brought back from the station was not supplies. It was something else. Ren convulses, his body racked with violent spasms as something writhes beneath his skin. The med bay's lights flicker, casting jagged shadows over his form. His breathing is ragged, his fingers clawing at his own flesh as if trying to tear something out. The crew stands frozen, horror gripping them. Vega moves first, snapping into action. Hold him down! Cade and another crew member pin Ren to the table as he thrashes. His screams raw, inhuman. His veins darken, pulsing unnaturally. Beneath his skin, something is moving, spreading. Get me the scanner! Vega barks. The display flares to life. The readings make no sense. Ren's vitals are fluctuating wildly. His blood work is corrupted, his cells breaking apart and reforming at impossible speeds. The foreign entity is spreading through his nervous system like wildfire. Whatever this is, it's rewriting him, Vega whispers. Cade's jaw tightens. Cut it out. Vega hesitates. If we don't know what it is, if we don't stop it now, we lose him. Cade snaps. A scalpel flashes in Vega's hand. She presses it against Ren's arm. But before the blade can pierce flesh, his body seizes violently. His back arches. His mouth opens wide in a silent scream. And then he stops. Silence. His body goes limp. His eyes, unfocused and glassy, lock onto Cade. Then his lips curl into a smile. Not his smile. His voice, when it comes, is layered, distorted. You shouldn't have come here. The room plunges into chaos. Ren moves too fast, his body no longer bound by human limitations. He lunges, tearing through restraints like paper. Cade barely dodges in time. A warning shot rings out, but it doesn't stop him. Something else is inside him now. Something wearing his skin. Cade fires again. The shot slams into Ren's chest. He stumbles but does not fall. Instead, he laughs. A wet, unnatural sound. Then, his body collapses inward, flesh folding over itself like liquid before hardening into something else. Something inhuman. The thing that was Ren lunges again. This time, it doesn't miss. Cade is slammed against the bulkhead, pain exploding through his ribs. Vega pulls the emergency lockdown trigger. The doors slam shut, sealing the med bay. The thing shrieks, throwing itself against the reinforced glass. Cracks spiderweb instantly. It won't hold. Cade stumbles to his feet. We need to get off this ship. Vega's face is pale. And go where? There's only one answer. The planet. The Perseverance is already drifting toward it, locked in autopilot since their departure from the station. Halix's voice crackles through the ship's comms, cold and precise. Re-entry trajectory locked. Atmospheric descent imminent. Warning. Structural integrity compromised. The ship is falling. And they are trapped with something they don't understand. Cade slams the override. Prepare for emergency landing. The ship shudders as it enters the upper atmosphere. Heat blooms along the hull, metal glowing red-hot. Inside, Alarms scream as gravity shifts violently. The creature in the med bay howls, sensing the change. The hull groans, pressure threatening to tear the ship apart. The main thrusters fail. Descent is no longer controlled, it's a freefall. The impact is brutal. Everything goes dark. Cold air rushes in first. The scent of wet earth. The distant hum of alien life. Cade's eyes flicker open. Pain radiates through every inch of his body. But he's alive. He forces himself upright, taking in their surroundings. The ship is in ruins, its hull half buried in dense vegetation. Strange bioluminescent plants pulse softly in the dim twilight. The sky is alien, tinged with deep purples and streaked with twin moons. Vega groans nearby, clutching her arm. "We made it," Cade exhales. Barely, a sharp, mechanical whine cuts through the air. Halix's damaged voice crackles through a nearby console. "Warning, breach detected. Foreign entity." A screech echoes from the wreckage. The thing survived the crash, and it's not alone. The sound is unlike anything human. A chittering, wet, organic noise, followed by the scrape of something sharp against metal. The wreckage shifts as something inside moves. Then another sound, closer, echoing from the dense jungle beyond. They are not alone. Cade pulls Vega to her feet. Every muscle screams in protest, but they have no time for pain. They need to move. Now, the ship is a lost cause. Smoke billows from ruptured fuel lines. Fires flicker along the broken hull, casting jagged shadows. The Perseverance is dead, but what was inside it is very much alive. Vega grips her weapon, breathing heavy. "We have no supplies, no backup, no way off this rock." Cade scans the tree line. The vegetation is thick, alien, but something about it feels unnatural. The bioluminescence isn't random. Pulses in a pattern, rhythmic, almost alive. A warning? A lure? None of it matters right now. They need distance from the ship. Something inside the wreckage screeches again, the metal groaning as it pushes its way out. They run. The jungle swallows them whole. The air is damp, heavy with the scent of something unfamiliar. Every step sinks slightly into the earth, as if the planet itself is breathing. The trees twist unnaturally, their bark smooth, almost metallic. And the sounds, low whispers in the wind, clicking noises that don't belong to any animal they've ever encountered. Vega keeps glancing back. What are the chances that thing died in the crash? Cade doesn't answer. They both know the truth. It didn't just survive. It's hunting. The terrain slopes downward, leading them into a valley shrouded in mist. In the distance, faint lights flicker. Not fire. Not natural. Something built that. Cade signals for caution, lowering his stance. They move slower now, weaving between massive roots, their boots barely making a sound. The air grows colder. The lights ahead pulse softly, embedded in the ground, forming a path leading deeper. Then, a sound, a guttural exhale, just beyond the mist. They freeze. Shapes move in the darkness. Tall, angular, watching. Cade grips his weapon, heart pounding. These things aren't human. They aren't like the thing from the ship either. Then one of them steps forward. The figure is clad in armor, sleek and unfamiliar. Its design both organic and mechanical. The helmet obscures its face, but it raises a hand. A slow, deliberate gesture. Not hostile. Not yet. A voice crackles through the air. Not spoken. Transmitted. "You brought it here." The words carry weight. Accusation. Cade doesn't lower his weapon. "We didn't have a choice." The figure tilts its head slightly. There is always a choice. Movement behind them. More shapes emerging from the mist. They are surrounded. Vega grips her rifle tighter. "We don't want to fight." The lead figure exhales, a distorted sound through the helmet's filter. A fight is already here. It turns slightly, gesturing beyond them, toward the wreckage. "And if you do not kill it soon, none of us will survive." The jungle trembles. The thing from the ship is coming. And it's not alone. The ground trembles beneath them, a rhythmic pulse that grows stronger. The alien figures don't flinch. They have seen this before. Cade tightens his grip on his weapon, scanning the shifting shadows beyond the mist. Vega is tense beside him, eyes darting between the figures and whatever is coming. The leader steps forward, motioning to his warriors. They move in unison, fluid and precise, forming a perimeter. A deep, wet clicking sound cuts through the jungle. Then a low, unnatural growl. The thing from the ship is here. Cade barely has time to react before it lunges from the darkness. It isn't Ren anymore, not even close. Its body has fully changed. Limbs elongated, skin replaced by something dark and chitinous. Multiple eyes, glowing a sickly amber, are embedded in its shifting flesh. Its mouth is jagged, splitting open in unnatural directions. It moves too fast. One of the alien warriors fires a weapon that hums with energy. A bright, searing pulse slams into the creature's side. Staggers, but barely. The wound seals almost instantly. Cade curses. It's adapting. The creature twists its head, recognizing the new threat. Then it charges. The first warrior it reaches doesn't even have time to scream. Clawed limbs tear through armor like paper. The others retaliate, their weapons burning through the jungle. But the creature is already moving again. It's learning, growing stronger with every attack it endures. Vega fires, aiming for its head. The shot lands, the impact snapping its neck at an unnatural angle. For a second, it stops. Then, with a grotesque crunch, the bones realign. Turns toward her. Cade doesn't hesitate. He moves fast, grabbing a fallen alien weapon. The grip is unfamiliar, the tech unlike anything human, but he doesn't need to understand it, just use it. He aims and fires. The shot lands center mass, but this time something different happens. The energy burns through the creature's flesh, but instead of healing, the wound destabilizes. His body convulses, flickering, shifting erratically. The leader watches, then turns sharply. That weapon, use it again. Cade doesn't argue. He fires 3 more shots. Each impact sends violent tremors through the creature's form. It shrieks, the sound reverberating through the trees. Its limbs contort, struggling to maintain shape. It's losing control. The lead warrior steps forward, removing a blade from his armor, long, curved, humming with an energy Cade doesn't recognize. Without hesitation, he drives it into the creature's core. The effect is instant. A high-pitched wail erupts as the creature spasms violently. Its body begins collapsing inward, flesh unraveling into strands of blackened matter. The glowing eyes dim, one by one, until nothing remains but a smoldering husk. Silence. Then the leader turns to Cade. It is done. Vega exhales, lowering her weapon. For now. The warrior nods. For now. His gaze lingers on the sky, then back to them. You should not have come here. Cade looks at the remains of the creature, the thing that once was Ren. He knows the warrior is right, but it no longer matters. They are here, and there is no going back.